Joining me now, I have Mark Lamb, who was the Pinal County Sheriff in Arizona. Sheriff, it's always good to have you. Thank you for hopping on with me.
Good to be on with you, Markie. Thanks for having me.
So just to build off of what Mills was reporting there, all these cities, all these leaders that are not complying right now. I'm here in Chicago, and Chicago's mayor tweeting out yesterday that he was not intimidated after President Trump threatened to investigate local leaders. I'm just wondering, from your perspective, how are they not complying, and what kind of consequences do you think they should face?
Well, I don't know how they're not complying either, because clearly the American people said we want this problem taken care of. Now, Title 8, 1324 has a specific clause in there that says that if you know that somebody's in this country illegally and you are either harboring, concealing them, or shielding them, you are breaking the law. So I would expect that if they continue down this path, that the Department of Justice may just hold them accountable. They need to move out of the way. Here's the thing is all these people, they were the ones fighting to make sure that states like Arizona and Texas understood that it was a federal issue. Well, now that the federal government is stepping up to handle the business, now they don't like that either. So they've got to pick their poison here.
Yeah, and I know that Pinal County is just over, 100 miles to the southern border. Have you been seeing these raids take place in your area, sir?
I think they're doing a lot of it on the East Coast. I talked to a guy in Dallas. I haven't seen him yet in our area. I talked to a guy in Dallas that works for ICE that said, man, they hit the ground running. They were getting 3 to 4 a day apiece, where before they were having to release them. And so they are excited that they're actually able to go out and do their work. I want to reiterate, I hear the words raids. That's typically what they're using to make people think that this is something out of the ordinary. Look, these are folks that, first of all, committed a crime when they came to this country illegally. But the ones that they're going after and that they're actually arresting right now and removing are criminals, people that have actually been charged or convicted of crimes in our country who are here illegally. So that's where they're starting.
Yeah. I'm curious, when you talk to your ICE source about how these raids are going down, what does he or she tell you? Do they start the day with a list of names they're going after? Do they just say, let's start in this neighborhood and see what they find? What does that actually look like on the ground?
It's definitely not blindly going into a neighborhood or going to a businesses to roust people that are in this country illegally. They have a long list of criminals, people that have committed crimes. They know where they're at. But the last administration had no appetite for removing them. Not only were they not removing them, they were actually getting in the way of removing them. Well, now these people are being removed, and I think Americans are happy with it. And once they go through the criminals, they'll start going after the people that the judges have ruled do not have a legitimate asylum claim and need to be removed from the country.
I'm also curious, Trump deployed some 1,500 additional troops to the border to help fortify things. Are you seeing any of those troops in action?
And first of all, good. I'm glad he's doing that because the border needs to be secured. We used to fly, Markie, we used to fly like 200 miles along the border in our helicopter, and we wouldn't see a single Border Patrol truck. I guarantee you now, I know that the military's down along the border in Arizona as well. And not only that, the Border Patrol agents are no longer babysitting, changing diapers, making sandwiches. Now they're actually back on the border where they want to be, where they should be, and they are doing their job of keeping people from coming to this country. Look, we're removing 3,500 people. We had 15 million people, arguably, that came into this country over the last 4 years. So we got a lot of work to do. We can't afford to let 3,500 people come in a week right now. We've got to make sure that faucet is turned off and that we can now remove the people that came in under this last administration.
And just to piggyback off of that point, all these troops that are now being deployed to the border, do you hope the president, invokes the Insurrection Act so that it can actually act as law enforcement and not just be a visible deterrent at the border?
I hope that's not necessary. I don't know that that's going to be necessary, just allowing Border Patrol to get back out there and do their job. But what they're doing is securing the weak points, allowing these guys to get back to finishing the wall. There's a lot of weak points along the border. If you just put people there, they won't cross over while they're there. And I think that's the role that the military is filling right now. And not only that, as you start to remove people and you start to secure this border, there's a power vacuum that's going to occur with the cartels. This is not going to make them happy. and what we're going to see. We already saw them shooting at guys down in Texas. So there's a lot that's going to go on here. We need to have Border Patrol at full strength.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.